Hey, what's up, everyone? So, the top 10 running backs of the 2022 NFL season has come out. ESPN insiders, NFL insiders. I don't know. Some insiders. I thought it was the story was done by ESPN, but the voting was done by the NFL insiders and the executives and coaches and scouts and stuff like that. So, um, obviously, number one, Derrick Henry, Tennessee Titans. It could either be him or Jonathan Taylor in Indianapolis Colts. They're 1-2. Obviously, Derrick Henry's come off of some pretty dominant seasons. He got hurt last year, but he was on pace to have ridiculous numbers, and I think he will do that again this year. With an extra game, with having 17 games, I really think it's possible for both these guys to hit 2,000 yards. 59 yards a game is 1,000 yards, so double that would be 118, and so that's pretty doable for both of these guys to do weekly to reach 2,000. I don't think that's out of the question, especially when Henry is putting up 200-yard games, and so is Taylor. But Tennessee Titans, though, they don't have the same receiving squad they did last year. They don't have Julio Jones. They won't have A.J. Brown. So it's going to be up to Tannehill and some of their other guys to, take some of the pressure off of Derrick Henry. I think Jonathan Taylor should be number one. He does it all. He's a better pass catcher than Henry. He's a little more explosive. He's faster. He was a track star in high school in New Jersey, so he's a lot quicker. I think Taylor's going to have a breakout season where he puts himself in the number one running back spot, and without a question. So that'll be fun to watch. Obviously, the Colts got Matt Ryan. That's a big pickup for them. They drafted Alec Pierce out of Cincinnati. He's going to be a little bit more explosive on the outside along with Michael Pittman. So they should have some more weapons. Matt Ryan's a big pickup for them. That really is something that they've been looking for since obviously Andrew Luck retired way too early. And so we'll see how he does. I think they had Phillip Rivers, and he did pretty well. He was a little bit too old and kind of over the hump already, and so he wasn't able to do anything good for the Colts. Wasn't able to put him over the top. And then obviously we know what happened with Carson Wentz with his throwing it over his head touchdown. Just doing stuff that you shouldn't do as a quarterback. So now he's on the Commanders, and we'll see how he does. But anyway, Jonathan Taylor should have a pretty dominant year this year. I don't see him having a drop-off at all. I actually see him excelling past Derrick Henry because Henry will have the whole load on his shoulders with no real other weapons in Tennessee. I think they get Robert Woods, so we'll see how that goes. Nick Chubb is number 3, Cleveland Browns. To me, he was my fantasy running back last year. I think he's great. So many of his production is given to Kareem Hunt. That really takes away from some of his pass catches that he could have, and his red zone touchdowns. I noticed that Kareem Hunt got a lot of those carries because I was watching that really closely last year, and Nick Chubb didn't really benefit from the Browns' offense. Obviously, if the Browns don't have Deshaun this year, their offense is going to look a lot different. They're going to be probably more run-centric, and then teams can kind of focus on that. So we'll see how that translates. To me, himself, he is probably up there in running backs, but this year, projection-wise, I don't know if the numbers will translate. Obviously, Baker Mayfield's a Panther now, and they don't have the same weapons they had last year. So they got Cooper, but Austin Hooper's gone, and Jarvis Landry's gone, and obviously OBJ left. So it's it'll be different in Cleveland. It'll be much different. So we'll see how Chubb does. There's Dalvin Cook's number 4. Dalvin Cook is such a dominant back. If he could just stay healthy, he would really be probably up by Jonathan Taylor's status. He's just such a dynamic player out of the backfield, such a good runner. He plays the Packers a lot. He he always does damage against them, and I see just how talented he is. So I think he has the potential to be great if he could stay healthy for all 17 games. We will see how he does this year, but him at number 4 is pretty solid because he is capable of being up near the top, and I really think he'll have a solid season. So, Dalvin Cook's got Justin Jefferson on the outside. Kirk Cousins, he's just solid and steady. The best one-year quarterback, making money guy in the league. Obviously, the Vikings got a new coach this year. That's going to be something to watch. Zimmer's gone, and they might be focused more on the run at first just to get everything more comfortable and up to speed. So we'll see how that works out for Cook. I know Alexander Madison is pretty good as his backup. They kind of look the same, but they also kind of run the same. Madison's pretty good. So I think Cook, though, he'll have a good season. He's his number 4. Number 5 is Alvin Kamara from the New Orleans Saints. Kamara, what do you say about Kamara? He's just so dynamic. Catching passes, running the ball. Saints are kind of, there's a lot of stuff going on with Peyton leaving this year, and they had, Taysom Hill as his quarterback, but now he's not in the quarterback room anymore. They just gave everything to Jameis Winston. He started the year last year dominating the Packers and then kind of having a few struggles, but then having other good games and then tearing his ACL. So he'll be back. They drafted Chris Olave. Michael Thomas will be back. So Kamara's really got some people around him that can help him have a big year. Based on that, I'd almost put him ahead of Nick Chubb just because I don't see Chubb having the success he's been having just because the Browns' offense is going to be so run-centric if Deshaun doesn't play. If Deshaun plays, I think Chubb will have a great season. But Kamara just has so many guys around him. He's the dump-off guy if Winston needs to get rid of the ball quick, and he's somebody that can really break the game open on any play. I really like Kamara. Like I said, their defense is always solid, so they always have, get the ball back and get more possessions for their offense. He just has a really good awareness about him. He's so fast and literally can break it open on any play. He'll be fun to watch this year if he can stay healthy too. That's another issue for him. Just like Dalvin Cook, those guys staying healthy is all part of the game. So, number 6, Joe Mixon of the Cincinnati Bengals. To me, that's kind of high. Mixon doesn't seem to have the productivity. The team won and they went to the Super Bowl and all that, and they lost obviously to the Rams, but he doesn't seem to have the crazy productivity. He does really have some good games here and there, but it's consistency and health with Joe Mixon as well. I do like Mixon. I've always been a fan of Mixon. I've always, ever since coming out of college, I've watched him, and I thought he should have been drafted higher, but we all know what happened. So, I really like Mixon. I just think it's kind of high for him to be right there, especially ahead of some of these guys who they have behind him. I kind of see what they mean, though, I guess. But Mixon, I just think he should be more productive. I see the Bengals. They shored up that offensive line. They really got some good players on that offensive line now. Joe Burrow got sacked 9 times against the Titans in the playoffs, and they still won that game. So, we all saw Aaron Donald break that whole game up in the Super Bowl and win because he was able to make those stops and get pressure on Burrow. So having a better offensive line is going to help him, but it's also going to help Joe Mixon. having Chase and Boyd and Higgins on the outside helps open it up for Mixon. And I just think Bengals, since they've been there now, they've done it now, they're going to all be more confident and play good. But I still, Joe Mixon just doesn't seem like he's got the productivity that he should have compared to guys like number 7 here, Christian McCaffrey, who, if when healthy, he should be up near the top. He's like ahead of Kamara and ahead of, other guys like Cook and Chubb, even if he's healthy. I mean, what McCaffrey's capable of is amazing. He's catching passes, running the ball, all those things, but he just can't stay healthy, which is why he's number 7 on this list. I don't think he's been healthy for a full season since he got in the league. Maybe his rookie year or his sophomore year, but he hasn't, or second year, he hasn't been healthy since. And it's it's a bummer because he's so talented and he really can help the Panthers a lot, but they've struggled in other areas. Obviously, they had Cam, and then they got Darnold, and now they have Baker Mayfield. So with Baker, Robbie Anderson, Christian McCaffrey, they've got some pieces. DJ Moore, he's really good. So I think they really do have some guys who can break the game open. If McCaffrey can stay healthy, he can leapfrog some of these guys on this list. He really is explosive. I hope his knees are good, or his ankles, all that. He's coming in healthy this year, ready to go. He should be a good fantasy pick but usually he goes early and then he gets hurt and then you kind of forget about him. So number 7, yep, Christian McCaffrey. So that's pretty solid, I think. I like how he plays. It just comes down to health with him. Like I said, it really the team's going to have a tough year. I think even if Baker wins the job over Darnold, it's just going to be he's got to learn a new offense. They're probably going to give it to McCaffrey a lot of short passes, a lot of dump-off passes, stuff like that. So McCaffrey will probably get a lot of use no matter who's at quarterback, if he's healthy this year. So something to watch for, definitely. Number 8, Naji Harris out of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I like Naji. I really like Najee. I really do. He was solid last year as a rookie. He's a big guy, like 6'2", 240, just a monster. He can catch the ball. He runs hard. He's young still, so he's got a lot left in the tank. And he's just solid all the way around. He can block for you, so he's a 3-down back. He's going to be out on the field a lot. Whether they have Trubisky or they have Kenny Pickett at quarterback, he's going to be getting the ball in the pass game and in the run game. Harris is going to be the workhorse for the Steelers this year. That's why I'm surprised that guys like Joe Mixon are ahead of him. I think he could even be ahead of Nick Chubb on this list for what I think he's going to do this year, and even McCaffrey because of the injury history. Najee Harris should be probably like 5th on this list. If I were to do the list myself, I usually don't redo the list. I just like to talk about their list. I'll make lists at other times, but I just thought it was interesting because these came out, so I was like, oh, well, I'll talk about it. So number 9, so Pittsburgh, so I was going to say more about Pittsburgh. They got AB's gone. They have Chase Claypool, who's talking a lot. I think he could be good this year, but it's going to be more just Najee Harris's team. Like I said, they drafted Kenny Pickett. They have Mitch Trubisky. I think Pickett will probably win the job. Everybody talks about, well, whoever makes more money is going to win the job, and I just always go back to when Russell Wilson beat out Matt Flynn after Matt Flynn got that big contract in Seattle. I just think that it's going to be the young guy, and then they're not going to want to throw the ball out. They don't have a lot of weapons. They do have Deontay Johnson, who I do like, but otherwise the Steelers don't have a lot of big weapons on the team right now. So we'll see what they do quarterback-wise. That'll have a big implication on Najee Harris's season. if the rookie plays, he'll probably run the ball a lot more. If Mitch starts, they'll probably be passing a little bit more, but still it'll be passing it to Naji. So it'll be interesting to see who they pick, but either way, I don't think it'll affect him too much, but they will be a little more run-centric if the rookie does start. Okay, so now number 9, sorry. Aaron Jones of the Green Bay Packers, which I'm surprised to even see him on this list because he does split so much time with A.J. Dillon, but I'm happy to see him on this list because usually the Packers running backs they haven't gotten any love since Eddie Lacy, and he's out of the league and was out of the league pretty quick. So pretty cool to see Jones on the list. I think Jones is a super dynamic running back. I think if A.J. Dillon wasn't on the team and he was used more, his numbers would be up there with guys like Kamara in the pass game. He's just so efficient catching the ball, running the ball. He's great. He's a slasher. He just cuts and goes. And so Jones is super dynamic. I really like watching him run. He runs with so much fluidity. It just seems like he's gliding and he's so quick, and all of a sudden he's just he's just there all of a sudden. So pretty neat to watch him run. Having A.J. Dillon as the backup, who's just this big, strong, battering ram, kind of change of pace back and forth with those two guys. I think it's really going to help him this year, kind of take some of those early hits off of him and let Dillon take some of those. And for Jones, catching the ball is a big part of his game. I've seen him, jump up high over guys and catch some that you don't think a running back, a 5'9" running back, is going to be able to make. So pretty cool. Splitting the carries with Dillon this year, though. He's not. They're both going to be productive, but it's going to impact both of their productivity just based on the fact that they're splitting carries. Both of them, to me, are going to have over 1,200 purpose yards again, or all-purpose yards again, probably 1,000 yards rushing each. But that's only 59 yards a game, like I said, so that's still not, that's not crazy to think that they both can hit at least 60 yards a game on the ground, or, and makes it pretty easy to get 1,000 all-purpose yards. So I'm excited to see how he plays, though, with the Packers' new receivers. Rodgers getting up in age, they don't want to be having him throw 400 yards a game. They're going to be running the ball a lot more. They have a really tough defense, so they're going to play tough D, and I just think they're going to be handing it off, doing shorter passes, kind of quick, scheme guys open and get it to the running backs. Like I said, they have two that are really can both catch and both run, so watch for them to split carries, but Jones being top 10, pretty awesome. The fact that he's right behind Naji is that's what I don't understand, because Naji is going to be used like 400 times, while Aaron Jones will probably be used about 200, if that, probably less than that even. So the numbers for Naji are going to be much higher. His workloads are much higher, and even Mixon's will have a higher workload, but awesome to see Jones on there. He really is a dynamic back, and the fact that, I saw Ezekiel Elliott was like 12th on this list, and 11th was the Charger running back. So I can't think of his name now all of a sudden. Obviously, So, yeah, so having Zeke be 12, that's kind of Austin Eckler, yeah, there we go. So Eckler's, I just had to think of it. I had to think of something else quick before I remember, because I'm like, I never forget this stuff. What the heck? So Eckler's 11th, and so he to me is used a lot more just overall than Jones, and so I thought he would be on this list ahead of Jones. But like I said, it's cool to see Jones on there. I'll get back to Eckler. But so number 10 now is Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams is the Bronco. He was a rookie last year, splitting carries with Melvin Gordon. But Javonte, a lot of people think is going to have a breakout season. He was, over 1,000 yards last year. He really was the best running back last year for rookies. And, top 10, he's a top 10 now. He's on this list. So pretty amazing to see him on this list to get ahead of guys like Eckler and Zeke. it is kind of crazy, especially splitting carries with Melvin Gordon, because Melvin Gordon has been in this league for a while. He's a solid running back. He's just consistent. Not a whole lot of yards, but he stacks up touchdowns, multiple touchdown games, 10 touchdown seasons. He's really been productive. And for Javonte to come in and kind of take carries away and really be as productive as he has been is really cool. The Broncos got Russell Wilson this summer. That's going to be helpful because now the pass game will open up the run a little bit more. They have Jerry Jeudy on the outside, Cortland Sutton on the outside, and Tim Patrick on the outside, kind of creating space for Javonte. And Javonte can catch, so he'll be running routes out of the backfield, and they'll use him a lot more. Watch for him to kind of take over that number one running back role from Melvin Gordon. He should be, he's on this list, so should be top 10, but I think he will be. I think he's poised for a big season, and Broncos are going to, be competitive in that AFC West, because just that whole AFC West is so stacked. It's crazy. So, but yeah, like I was saying, 11th, they're not on this list, but I heard from, Skip Bayless that 11 was Austin Eckler, and then 12 was Ezekiel Elliott. Eckler, I think, should have been on this list. I'm not really sure who I'd put, take off and put on for him. I do like Eckler. I like how he, just his ability out of the backfield. He is a little undersized, but he runs hard. He's tough to tackle. He's a gamer. He makes plays. And with that Chargers offense, with all the weapons they have, and with Herbert taking that next step, I really think he's going to be dominant this year. So I think that means that the players around him are going to have big seasons, and that means Eckler's going to, be one of those guys that has a bigger year because Herbert takes that next step. And Zeke, can't believe that Zeke, highest paid running back in the league. His rookie year led the league in rushing. He led the league in rushing for a few years early on, but now you kind of just see his downward trend. He starts off the year with a bang, a lot of energy, running hard, and then it just kind of just drops. And I think he had like 58 yards yards a game last year, which means that he didn't even make 1,000 yards last year, which I didn't even look at. But if he didn't, for real, that's 59 yards a game at 17 games is 1,000 yards. So he should be able to make that pretty easily. I know that Tony Pollard takes a lot of his carries away at this point. He's a little bit more. Oh, it says last 1,002 yards. So okay, so he must have been a little bit over that. Then their numbers must be a little off. But it's 58.9. So it must be like 58.7, I think, in order to make 1,000 yards. So he was at 58.9. So he just made it. I mean, 1,002 yards. That's kind of close. You only have to average 59. So he was averaging just under 100 when he first came into the league. He's only 26 years old, set to enter his 7th season. So it's time for Tony Pollard to step in and be the guy. I really don't think Zeke has what it takes anymore. He kind of got too Hollywood, and just he doesn't run with the same kind of explosiveness. He's always kind of been a bigger back, and I think that's kind of weighing on him, taking the hits over the years, and he's just not up in the top 10. And he's just he's not going to have that kind of season that we expect out of him. So, all right, well, that closes out the top 10 NFL executives, insider voted on by ESPN guys. I don't even know where all that info comes from or who their sources are and all that, but that's the list they came up with, and that's what we talk about. So, all right, well, thanks for watching the video. Catch you guys in the next one. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Q_noseball. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. Thanks. All right, see you in the next one. Peace.